All right, welcome back. And of course, what is 1 week from today? You hear all the parents cheering and jumping up and down and having a house party. Yes, school starts. And what a delight to have with us today, Danny Huerta. Am I saying that right, Danny?
You said that well, yes.
Okay, thank you. He's with Focus on the Family. He's one of the counselors there, and the whole organization does a wonderful job. We're going to talk to him today a little bit about parents beware, what you may overbook yourself as kids get back to school. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you.
I'm doing well, thank you. Good to see you guys.
Listen, so extracurricular activities, you're pretty concerned about that.
Absolutely. I think we overschedule, and with a lot of good intentions involved in that. But it starts to eat up our family time, and really the schedule begins to dictate life rather than us as parents dictating life.
As we get back to school, of course, there's a lot of things on the table. You have the school activities, you have church activities. What advice do you have in properly selecting them?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, there's activities, so many great activities out there. I like families to put together a wants list, having the kids write down, what is it that you're wanting? And a lot of times there's this idea that there are some shoulds involved. You know, I should be involved in basketball, I should be involved in football, I should be involved in church, when it really is could. I could be involved in this. So with a could, it gives room for no. A should, it kind of demands that you need to do that, and if not, there's something wrong if you don't do it. And so switching the language to could. Here are the things we could do. What are we wanting as a family? What are we wanting to do? What are we wanting for our family? Leading a discussion around that and being intentional as parents with that is very, very important. If parents don't do that, then emotions dictate what the schedule is going to be. So the way that parents can do this is have maybe one family meeting. It'd be more ideal to have it weekly, but if you have one family meeting, maybe getting some ice cream and just making it a real good time, where you come up with what are we wanting to intentionally do as a family, and how can we make this the best home possible since it's the only one we've got. And so we can get involved with so many different great things. And also, let's get involved. We could get very involved within our family and make this a fun place to be together as a family.
You know, often, Danny, kids want to do it all. And so they're going to need some boundaries on how to select. You can say, well, which one you want to do? Well, I want to do basketball. I want to do football. Oh, by the way, I want to go to church Wednesday night. And all of a sudden, the homework falls through the cracks. So how do you help them select the right one?
So that's what that wants list. I think it's good to look at the cost-benefit analysis. You know, what's it costing you time-wise, money-wise, energy-wise, but also with the wants. I mean, if somebody wants to do great in football, they may have to give up wanting to do super well in their academics or in church. I mean, you have to begin to choose and figure out what is the cost to this, not only financially, but time-wise and energy-wise. It's hard to have energy with all of it. It really is. So for kids, it's helping them realize that you're going to have to be comfortable with the word no. You're going to have to say no to something as you look at your wants list. So if they really want to pursue football, you want to say, okay, you know what, football's good. You can develop a lot of discipline. So are academics. How are we going to balance that? What are you going to have to say no to in order to do those well? And helping them realize that you can do some things very well, and if you do too many things, you do them all kind of poorly, and you don't really do things very well on all of them. Now, one thing to keep in mind is if this is a Christian home with Christian values, then what you're wanting to do is, am I doing this for God? Am I doing this for the praise of men? What am I doing this for? What am I wanting this for? If I'm pursuing a great football career, you know, about 1% make that, yet 100% become adults. And so how can you become a great adult? How can you become the best father you can become? How can you enter adulthood with all the tools necessary to do adulthood well? Because it's inevitable. You're going to become not necessarily an NFL football player.
So how do you retain the importance of homework? because sometimes the activity can preempt the importance of homework. Is homework, you're laughing, but is homework to be an activity? You must be a dad.
I am. That's a responsibility. It really is. And it's just like practice. You know, with my son, he's 12, and I've been so proud of him. He wanted to go into advanced math, and so he had to do a bunch of stuff this summer. And there were moments where we could go out and shoot hoops or do other things because he loves sports. Yet he had to choose what his responsibility was. It didn't feel the most comfortable. And so what I've told my son is, I'm not here to make you happy or to make you feel good. I'm here to help you think well. And so we need to figure out how can you help your mind wrap itself around responsibilities, because that's important. And some of them are just not going to be fun, yet that's what helps you grow. And the purpose of life is not to be happy, it's to grow, because in that growth you find happiness. If you just pursue happiness, you're an immature person that never finds it. And so for him, he's grasped that, he's grabbed onto that. I remember one time with baseball, it was getting more and more intense as far as the requirements for that. He wanted to do basketball, baseball. He was thinking about another sport. And finally we said, hey, let's look at the cost here, because it's also costing your focus on what your responsibilities are. And so we were able to trim it down and see that, hey, we want family time. And he's learned how to guard that. And said, man, Dad, I want to do it this way when I'm older, have time with my kids, have dinner together, because I love this so much. And so he's learned to love that. We try to make our dinners really enjoyable, very connecting, no cell phones, no anything. I remember he brought up one time, he said, hey, Dad, all these kids are in activities and they have cell phones and iPods. When am I going to get one? And I said, well, when you're driving and there's a necessity for it, then that's when you're going to get one. In the meantime, borrow a kid's phone if you're needing to contact us. There's plenty out there, clearly, because you just shared that with me, that everybody else has a phone, so you won't be lacking one if there's an emergency. Otherwise, it's just a want, and right now it's not necessary for your life. And with that trust relationship, we've with us intentionally spending time together, he trusts what I tell him, and things are going very well. My daughter as well, just her trust towards that leadership, and that requires time. And so time is something you cannot buy back, and so you have to intentionally protect it and figure out what you're wanting to accomplish. What do you want your kids to look like when they're 18? And parenting is hard. It takes a lot of energy. And so you want to see where your energy is being expended. And for kids with homework, sit down with them, enjoy it with them, let them know this is like practicing basketball, practicing any sport. You're helping your mind understand and grasp what you're learning so that it makes it easier that, as you grow into the learning process, because you can't get rid of that. You're learning all your life.
Let me say to our viewers and listeners, of course, Focus on the Family, been around for a long time, outstanding organization. Their website is FOTF.org, and there you'll find a lot of resources of some of the things that Danny is sharing with us. Danny, I got about 2 minutes left. Let me ask you a question that's a little off this subject, but very important. As a father and as a counselor, what can you say to parents to be on the lookout if your child's being bullied?
Wow. I would say a kid that is isolating themselves, you're noticing that their appetite has changed, they're becoming depressed and more disconnected, maybe they lack self-confidence, or maybe it comes out in anger. Whatever it is, if there's an extreme change in your child, just check in with them. I really encourage parents to have regular communication, maybe take a walk with your child. With my kids, I love to write them a note. Let them know I'm thinking about them. Would love to hear about their world and what's going on in it. I really want to be attuned and press pause on my own life. And even if it's just sitting next to each other and just relaxing, sometimes words come out then. So look at what changes emotionally are taking place in your child, and make sure you let them know, hey, I'm here, whatever's going on. And if there is bullying, make sure that you help your child understand that that you're not there to fix it for them, but let's come up with some ideas, some solutions. Maybe going to the school, letting them know, letting them be aware of what's happening without letting everyone know who shared that, and letting them know that bullying is not okay. This is something that's going on. Something toxic is going on in the other person. One of the funny things that I use with teens when there's bullying going on, I'll say, let's pretend you're at a grocery store or somewhere and someone lets one go, right? You have to deal with the smell of that, much like somebody with a bad attitude or bullying. And so there's something wrong inside of them that's spilling into you. So that gives them a sense of compassion and understanding that it's not about them, that there's something wrong with them, that the bully is saying. There's an imposing of a belief system by that bully. Maybe an understanding that that bully is needing intervention and help, and by telling the school officials and other people, maybe they can get the bully the help they need. Just like if somebody has a lot of those toots, they can get some help for their stomach so that they're not invading other people's smell space.
Unbelievable. All right, thank you, my friend. Thanks for what you do, and everybody that are focused, give them our best. And again, FOTF.org is the website. It's an incredible resource. FOTF, short for FocusOnTheFamily.org. Thanks, Danny. Keep up the good work, friend.
Hey, one thing that people can call, they can call our counseling line. It's a free call, 1-800-A-FAMILY. They can speak with any of the 13 licensed psychologists, counselors on our line. We'd love to talk to whoever wants to call, and it's from parenting to marriage to everything you can think of, and we'd love to talk to whoever wants to call.
That's right. They take thousands of calls every month, 1-800-A-FAMILY. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back.
I'm Paulina Leiser, producer of Focus Today. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to check our other videos at theDove.us.